Right, and now I'm going to make Jeff, who's our presenter for today about guardianship, the host, so that he can tell us all of his fabulous information.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Rapkin. My last name's easy to remember. It's Napkin with an R instead of an N, Rapkin. Easy to find. And I'm gonna in a minute or two, you're gonna be looking at the website that I created for Guardian Advocacy. What I'm here to talk to you today about is Guardian Advocacy. And somebody speak up if I'm going too fast or you can't see something. I'm going to screen share in just a minute. I recently gave a presentation at the Family Cafe in Orlando, and this is a little bit of an abbreviated version of that. Let me go ahead and screen share. I've been practicing law for 30 years, since 1996. Let me share. Okay, that screen recording, Google Chrome. Yeah, okay. So I asked to share the screen, and I want to share that one. I guess I'll just share this one here. All right. What do you guys see on the screen? Is it just me still?
Just you still, yep.
Okay. Please grant browser access to, okay. Grant browser access. I'm just gonna to screen recording. How do I grant browser access to screen recording?
It sounds like you need to go to the actual browser you're on and say it's okay for it to see your screen.
Okay. Record view. I didn't have to do that before. Pop out, minimize, view. Do you know where that would be? Under more. Security. Share screen.
Yeah, there's at the bottom should be. I usually just click on the green share button.
Yeah, I didn't, and I want to share screen too. Share. Please grant browser. Okay, learn more. Okay, so I have to tell Google Chrome that it's okay to share my screen. So if you give me just a moment, I'll do that. I apologize. I'll just chat with you while I'm doing that. So I've been practicing for 30 years. What I'm doing primarily is something called Guardian Advocacy, and it's a really bad name that they gave it, Guardian Advocacy. What they should have named it is developmental guardianship or something about like that, so that people understand what it's about. It's an abbreviated guardianship for people.
Did we lose Jeff?
Jeffrey.
Right. The beauties of technology. Sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it hurts.
Most of the time it hurts.
Jeff, are you still there? Thank you, everyone, for just kind of, being patient as we figure this out. It still says he's there. We'll figure this out. Let me try calling him.
Audio and video. Okay, now you can hear me. I'm so sorry about that. All right, so you guys can see and hear me again?
Yes.
All right. So let me give you my website in case I'm not able to get this thing shared because I had a whole presentation for you. But my website, if you want to write it down, it's rapkinlegal.com. www.rapkinlegal.com. My last name, napkin with an R instead of an N, and then the word legal.com. And then I'm going to allow screen sharing. There we go. And allow Google Chrome. Oh, quit and reopen. Give me 1 second. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. So now we're back on track. And I'm going to share my screen. Host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Have to make you the host again because you got booted out and back in. So just 1 second.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll be all set.
Yep.
I'm actually pretty familiar with Zoom. I do a lot of mediations through Zoom. So let's move this over here. We'll try one more time.
There we
And
go.
everybody can now see desktop one. Okay. So you see the sign that says, I'm going to show you a picture of the most important thing in the world.
Yes.
All right. So that's how I started my presentation at the family cafe. And there she is. That's the most important thing in the world. That's my daughter. Her name is Connor. She's 28 years old. And no, it's not the little doll she's so proud of. It's Animal Crossing is the only game she knows how to play on her Nintendo Switch. She's autistic. She lives with me and my wife. I've been married for 33 years. And mentally, I would say she's about 7. When she turned 18, can you guys see the screen enough? Okay. Can you guys read that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
better.
So when she turned 18, just like kids with Down syndrome, with Prader-Willi, Cushing's, the doctors wouldn't talk to us, nurses wouldn't talk to us, the school wouldn't talk to us. All of a sudden, she was an adult. Well, I knew she didn't have the same faculties and use of her capabilities as a regular adult, but they still treated her as if she was an adult. She was 18, and I recently heard a horror story. Actually, hasn't been so recent, of a situation where a 18-year-old young lady who you couldn't tell she was autistic. She was ASD on the spectrum. You couldn't tell. She got catfished on either Facebook or Instacart or Instagram or whatever it is. And this man promised to take her to Disney World. So this man, who was some kind of horrible monster of a man, showed up at the door, and this young lady's mother called the police. And you know what the police said?
Can't do
The
anything.
police said, yeah, can't do anything. Exactly. Can't do anything. She's 18. She can do whatever she wants.
That's
And
crazy.
so greater minds, yeah, it is crazy, but greater minds prevailed, and the police were able to figure out what was really going on and told the guy to get lost, and basically good things happened. But there is a statute that's designed for us. So legally, my daughter became an adult when she turned 18. She could apply for credit, enter into a contract, be held accountable. She could be taken advantage of, victimized, whatever. And there's nothing I could do to stop it. And so I give the example of my daughter likes the dollar store. You know, you go in and you pay $1. There's all these little things. I give her a cart and she goes to town. On the way to the dollar store, this was about a month ago, I was pumping gas, and she said, you know, I want a snack. I said, okay, go inside it was a 7-Eleven. I said, go into the 7-Eleven and pick something out. I'll be in just a minute, and I'll pay for it. By the time I got in the 7-Eleven, there was chocolate all over her face. She'd ripped open a package of Twinkies, and the clerk had the phone up, was about to call the cops because she was screaming at the clerk. Okay. What happens when my little girl, what happens when she ends up in lockup? What happens when somebody takes advantage of her? There is a way to prevent that from happening. Now, our lawmakers, they did a real, I hate to ever admit this, but our lawmakers did a really, really good job about putting something in place for us. Now, what do? You know, there's the example. We want to keep somebody from sending her a credit card, from her being lost, sick and injured. Well, what if the doctors say, well, you can't go back into the emergency room? You know, you can't help her make decisions. All sorts of bad things can happen. And we see there's bad police work, bad education, bad this, bad that. People are getting more knowledgeable about autism and about other developmental disabilities, but still, I would say our society is fairly ignorant. You know, once they understand, you know, I think people are generally good, but they don't understand until sometimes it's too late. So, Saratoga, I thought that said Sarasota. I was freaked out. There she is. There's my girl with her friends. They were at SeaWorld, obviously. So what do? How do you protect her? Well, there's a thing called a guardianship. No, guardianship is a terrible idea. Why? Because you need a lawyer. Our lawmakers, this is not the law I'm referring to. That was good, by the way. Our lawmakers put in 744 that you need to have a lawyer to establish guardianship. How much does a lawyer cost? They're really expensive. I put the Three Stooges here. Dewey, Cheatham, and Hal. You know, to establish a guardianship, we think of an elderly person who can't take care of themselves anymore. They have property, they have pensions and things like that. We have fiduciary duties. We're not thinking about my kid who's 18 and has nothing except her toys. Okay. Would a traditional guardianship apply? Well, yeah, but it's really cumbersome. It's very difficult to get. So our lawmakers did a really good job. Forget that. Is there anything I can do myself without an attorney? Why, yes, there is. It's in chapter 393, and I'm going to tell you where to get everything. On my website are all the forms you need. If you're taking notes, take a breather. You don't need to worry because I'm going to give everything to you. And all you're going to have to do is click on rapkinlegal.com. There's a big red bar. I could show it to you now here. This is what it looks like. And you can't miss the big bar here, okay? So we'll finish a little bit of the presentation and I'll get right to the meat and potatoes. So 393, they should call it a developmental guardianship. That's the better name. But they call it guardian advocacy. That's insane. Guardian advocacy as a name is a terrible name. Can everybody still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Somebody wave or whatever if you can't hear me because it's raining out here.
Can I mention something about the guardianship?
Yes, as soon as I get done, though, I have a lot of material. Write down your question and I'll answer questions at the end. So instead of guardianship, you use guardian advocacy instead. Think of it as an abbreviated guardianship. Okay, chapter 393 is titled Developmental Disabilities. It is designed for us. And guess what? You don't need a lawyer.
Perfect.
Those forms are supposed to be online for you. The clerk's office is supposed to help you. It's not supposed to cost anything. It's designed for us. It's designed for parents like us whose kids turn 18 and suddenly we're like, oh my God, what do I do now? Okay. So appointment of a guardian advocate. Are you guys getting an echo?
Yes.
I'm fine.
How about now? So whoever turned off your mute, turn your mute back on. Murda, that might be you. There you go. Okay. So it's in 393. Okay. It's titled Developmental Disabilities and it's appointment of a guardian advocate. It gives you the same rights, duties, responsibilities, and obligations that you would have if a regular guardianship was given to you. So if I was standing in that 7-Eleven and the cops show up and I have this order that says I'm her guardian, it says guardian, I'm really her guardian advocate, but it says guardian, the police will say, oh, I understand now. And now my child's not getting arrested for eating Twinkies and causing a fuss, okay? And other things. If somebody convinces my daughter to buy a car, I can void that contract because I'm her guardian. I'm labeled guardian, and it's a type of guardianship, but it is tailored specifically to the ward, my daughter, to her capabilities or lack thereof, as the case may permit. Now, there are kids that are on the Asperger's spectrum. They don't use Asperger's anymore. They could go to work, they could bag groceries and stuff, but they can't pay the bills. So this order would say, mom and dad helps with the bills, but he can still go to work and he can choose to go to work. He can choose the right to vote. So you don't take away that. You're not taking away rights. What you're doing is the ward is having his or her rights for certain things delegated to mom and dad or brother and sister, whoever's taking care of them, to help them. Okay? Some, but not all, of the decision-making tasks. Okay? Some, but not all. You don't have to have an attorney, and you have the same rights, duties, and responsibilities as that of a guardian. Now, they add a little bit of 744 in there, and they will say to you, and when I say they, I'm talking about the court system, will say that a guardian advocacy is a type of guardianship. That is true, but it really is a world unto its own. That's why they gave it its own statute number, which is 393. So we go here. Okay, that court order is worth its weight in gold. You do have to file an annual report, and the annual report says, you know, how's the kid doing? Has the kid had to go to the doctor? What are you doing with the kid? Is the kid going to Special Olympics? The annual report is really just to tell the court, we still live in your jurisdiction, and we're here if you need us, both sides. The court's here if you need us. You know, I had one recently where the guardian advocate changed from mom to dad. They were divorced and mom got sick and dad needed to step in, and everybody was kumbaya and it worked fine. Okay. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to go to court for something. Okay. How do you become a guardian advocate? Well, that's where this comes in. This is my website. It's rapkinlegal.com. You can see up here. rapkinlegal.com. And I bet you rapkin.net. Let's see if that works. Yep. Rapkin.net works too. Boy, it couldn't be easier. Rapkin.net. Think of napkin with an R instead of an N. Rapkin.net. So you would click on this, and everything you need to know to file your own guardian advocacy in all 67 counties of the state of Florida is here. Okay, these are the slides from the PowerPoint presentation I'm just showing you. You don't need to see all of them. This is my business card here. All of this is on my website, rapkin.net. That's all you need to remember. Okay, but everything is here. My explanations are here. I know it's going too fast for you to read. That's okay. You can read at your leisure. This is the order you get, by the way. Okay, and it says you have the right to apply for government benefits, to determine residency. What if your child, your ward, had wanted to keep the right to make education decisions? You wouldn't need to check that box. The judge will only check the boxes that are appropriate. It's not like we're taking all the rights away. It's like you're stepping in for certain things. That's why I love this so much. My big problem with it is not anything except how it's implemented. I have 40 of these right now. 40 of these. I do them pro bono. And the last couple that came to see me, I said, guys, I'm exhausted. I'm doing these annual reports. I'm barely keeping up with everything. I'm not even making a living because I'm doing pro bono. I said, see if somebody else will help you. They came back to see me. The cheapest attorney was $8,000. 8. So, of course, I did it, by the way. Anyway, this is the site. You can have a guardian advocacy if it's just one of you, or you can have a co-guardian advocacy if it's mom and dad. And this gives the steps. So step 1, download this file and read it. I promise it's easy. This is from the 14th Judicial Circuit. Look at how nicely they did this. My circuit, not so much. But 14th Circuit gives you a little checklist. What is it? All of this is on my website. All you need to do is poke around and you'll find it. Everything's there. And if you find that there's something you need, all you got to do is call me. When you go here, I'm sorry, to my main website. No, don't email me. Don't save. Well, I mean, you can email me, but when you go here, you see this number?
Yes.
That is my cell phone. That's this thing right here. I'm the only lawyer you know who for 30 years has been using an iPhone and as his main source of communication. I don't have a legal assistant or secretary. I take all my calls and I text with people. And I've had people everywhere from Marathon, I think that's Key West, Marathon, to Tallahassee, calling me for help, and I've been helping them fill out these papers. They have questions on them, but if I've done my job right, it should be a whole lot easier. Don't worry about this kitchen table divorce thing. All right, but it looks like you can email me if you go here. Well, look at that. You can email me right here. That's pretty good. Yes, this website looks homemade because I made it myself. Yes, it's terrible. And I took that picture by myself and my eyes are closed. It's the best I could do. Selfies are not my thing. But you look here, everything you need, 14th Judicial Circuit's website. There's their handbook. It tells you what is a guardian advocate. Do I need an attorney? No, you don't. Who can serve? Who can't serve? How do I do it? Is there an educational requirement? Well, there is, but my forms have a method to waive it. Let's start looking at the forms. I don't want to lose. How much time do I have? I'll go fast.
We do like about an hour, and you're about half an hour in, so
Okay, good.
we'll
All
leave a
right.
little time for questions at the end.
Yeah, I want to leave time for questions. So let's take a look at the forms. All right. So you download the 14th handbook, but if you type in the words guardian advocacy, some judicial circuits, there's 20 of them, I think, are better than others. Some counties are better than others. Charlotte County, I'm running for judge, by the way. If you live in Charlotte County, vote napkin. August 20th. The primary is my election. I envision a room that's a huge auditorium. I'm going to order 25 pizzas and have every single parent that's just like me come in, and we're going to have packets lined up. Everybody's going to pick one up as they come in. No lawyers' fees, no court fees. I'm going to do everything for them while they're there. We're all going to fill it out together. That's what I envision. That's why I'm running. But anyway. So let's look at the forms. Let's assume you're not in Charlotte County and you can't find me. Let's not do the co-guardian advocacy. Let's look at the regular guardian advocacy. If you take a look, you can download this form. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So see up here in the upper right, if you're using Google Chrome, you can download it. I wouldn't print it. And the reason why is this. I have JavaScripted this. So you can type in the name of your ward. My daughter's name is Connor. Now I've typed that there, And every single place that needs to have her name has it. What if I got her name wrong? Okay. I've just changed the name on this form. Look, it's changed here too. When you print it, these gray boxes disappear. Okay. So most of the work is done for you. I had a woman in Key West, Marathon. She said she couldn't believe how easy it was. Well, it's because I've streamlined it with JavaScript. So let's pretend we're doing one for Connor. Okay. So who goes here? Petitioner, parent, etc. Put your name. Okay, that would be me. So I go. All right, well, we can leave the addresses as they are, but my telephone number, that's not my telephone number. Let's go. Here we go. And my email. And if you need to email me on my website, my email is everywhere you look. Okay. Now I've typed my name here. It's gone everywhere it belongs. Look at that. Make a change here. Done. It's changed here too. Okay. You put the correct date here. I know that it looks a little wonky. I had to JavaScript each of these boxes. It took me a really long time, and spacing the sizes was really hard, but it works. So notice of confidential information. This tells the clerk to keep the information confidential. This is what you file right before you file all the IEPs. You don't need to have a doctor's report per se to get this. Something in writing that says that your child is autistic from somebody in authority. An IEP from school is fine. That's all you need. You know, 2 or 3 IEPs. Please, you can't use old ones. They have to be at least somewhat recent. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years old is okay, but something that's 10 years old, not so much. So you would attach that to this. And if you have trouble, my cell number's there. Just text me. Okay. I talk to people all day. Related cases, there aren't any related cases. If there are any other cases, that's only if you want to keep certain cases together. If there's a child support case and you want the court to know about it, you could put it down. I tell people don't bother. There aren't going to be any related guardianships unless you're converting a guardianship to a guardian advocacy, which you're not going to do. Don't worry about it. That's why I already have the checkbox filled in. So this is the application. And you'll notice it's already filled in. Look at that. But I'm not 55, I'm 54. And that's not my birthday. So let me fix that. So you see how these forms work? You need to look through each one and fix them as you go, and it'll change it everywhere it belongs. See how the residence is correct? All right. Applicants, my employer name and address. Well, I don't work at tacos and stuff. So I work at okay. My position. And then you put your number here. All right. If you don't have a home or work number, you can leave them blank. If you're currently serving as a guardian, you put that information here. Most people aren't. If you have any physical disabilities, you can put them here, but I just caution you not to put too much of I'm disabled, I can't walk sort of stuff there. A judge is going to be worried about that. Okay. Have you ever been treated for a mental condition? Now, same thing here. Okay. The judge can't order that you're a guardian advocate if you've had some issues, some very bad issues, and you can't get these things under control. I just did one recently where the wife said, yes, I'm an alcoholic, but I go to AA meetings once a week. And the judge talked to her a little bit and said, okay, you can be the guardian. Why don't you come back in a year and tell me how everything's doing? I mean, it's that simple. This is one of those weird cases where nobody's arguing over anything. Okay, most cases, you've got a plaintiff and a defendant. You got a state attorney and a defense attorney. You got a husband and a wife fighting over the lawn furniture. This is one of those strange circumstances where you're in court and everybody wants what's best for your kid. Okay, so you'd fill this out. I'm going to go a little fast. You can look at this later. It's all very self-explanatory. Okay. You just, they ask where you went to school, where you worked. All right. One of the problems I have with these forms, the traditional forms, is everything we just went through, they sort of ask the second time. Petition for appointment of guardian advocate. Well, we just did the application. Doesn't this look strikingly similar to what we just did?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's to make lawyers money. I don't know why. This one, nature of the person's developmental disability. Okay, well, that would be Connor. She has autism. She's 27. So I would change that. I'd put her date of birth here. And I'm not her mom, but I'm her father. You know, and then you just keep going through. All right. Another beef I have with these forms is they have notary spots all over the place. So you got to find somebody who's a notary to stamp it. So if you take a look, there's an oath you have to do. So if there's co-guardian advocates, you'll do, both of you will do an oath. Both of you will do a petition. Both of you will do an application. All right. And you can tell it's already sort of filled in, but when we get here, yeah, the email is already in there. So you just look at every page and make sure it all makes sense. Well, that's not today, but so if I change this to today, everywhere that today is will be changed and corrected. They're interlinking fields, okay? This won't change because it's different than this. So it's the 15th day of August. No, not August. August, yes, August. Okay? And then the notary stamps it. This is what the order looks like. And really, it's all pretty self-explanatory. The judge is going to sign this. You don't even have to do anything with it. I hope it doesn't feel like I've oversimplified the process, but I have. I've made the process pretty easy. All you have to do is fill out those forms, get them to the clerk's office. What will happen after you fill out the forms, and they're all there for you, is you bring them. I would copy them a couple of times, then you bring them to the clerk's office, and the clerk is going to appoint, or the judge will appoint an attorney to represent your kid in every case. And what that attorney is going to do is that attorney is going to get paid $400 to have a 5-minute conversation with your kid, whether your kid can have a conversation or not. So everybody's represented. Everybody has an opportunity to be heard and represented by counsel. It's just a due process requirement. Okay? That's all it is. And this is what the judge does in court. Okay? So you don't even have to worry about this form. This comes in later when you do your annual reports. It's really weird. The annual report, you would think it would be January 1st of 2024 through January 1st of 2025. That's actually not the case. If you did it January 1st of 2024, you would end December 31st of 2024. Isn't that weird? But don't worry, The clerk's office is supposed to help you, and this cheat sheet I put up here helps you as well. This is to get that educational requirement. They treat these like regular guardianships, okay? You don't need to take an 8-hour class on how to keep track of somebody else's money. That doesn't apply here. So I asked the judge to waive that, and that's what this motion is here. Okay? You don't have to get a criminal background check because you're not handling money. You're not doing anything other than taking care of your kid. So I asked the judge to waive that too, and the judges always do. I've never had a judge say you have to take that class and you need the background check. Never in any of these types of cases. Okay? Real easy. Everything you need is right here. Okay, this is the initial plan. The instructions tell you within 60 days of the order making you the guardian, you have to do an initial plan. And you're going to look at this and say, that looks like the annual plan. Well, it does. The only difference is the word initial becomes annual. And you put the kid's address here. And the reason why that's not filled in is because you may have moved. So you type it in once. During the period beginning, that's the period of the year. And then you just write things in here. Resided with the friends and family. I mean, this is not complicated stuff. It feels complicated because they're court forms and they're terrifying, but it's not. It really isn't. Okay. This question talks about DNRs. And you just write, my child's not capable of putting a DNR or NA, you know. Sorry. I can't type today. NA. An advanced directive, healthcare surrogate, living will. Your kid's not going to do that. Now, if your kid has, they probably don't need a guardian advocate. But if your kid has, you have to put it here. You see, that's why I've only made one field, because it's going to be an NA. All right. And the guardian has no knowledge of a pre-existing do not resuscitate order or advance directive. They don't have the capability of that. So these stay blank. And then you sign it and it doesn't need to be notarized. And you file it once a year. And I've had guardian advocates in Sarasota County, and I've got one in Hillsborough County. I have one in Sarasota County that hasn't filed a report in 5 years. And occasionally a judge starts looking and sends me an email and says, hey, are you still representing so-and-so? And I say, well, yeah, I keep in touch. Well, they haven't filed a report in 5 years. You got to do 5 of these. So we go to Applebee's and we fill out 5 of them, and then I hand them in, and it's all good. A lot of people are worried about being thrown in jail or having things taken away. That is just not the case, you guys. Okay? It's not. That's the annual plan. It's roughly the same thing. I mean, the questions are stupid because they're geared towards people who don't have a permanent disability, but you just answer them. And that's all you really need to know. As long as you remember my website address, rapkinlegal.com or rapkin.net. Steps, follow the steps. Step 3, sign and notarize. Step 4, gather these things up. Step 5, this is on my website. Okay? Everything you need to do. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, hopefully, if I prevail in my election, is I'm going to streamline this process to make it even easier to do. Why fill out 6 forms when you can do 1? Why fill out, what is this thing? It was like 25 pages. Why do 25 pages when you can do 2 pages? I am going to make this the easiest thing for us to get. And all the guys running for Congress, I've been going to those forums since I'm, campaigning. I've been having conversations with all of them, and they all say the same thing. Send me a bill. Not a bill to pay, but if they win their election, to send them a bill to streamline this process, to change the name to developmental guardianship, to make it easy for us, to make it easier. The way it's designed to be easy, but what happened was lawyers got involved and figured a way to bleed money from people who don't have any. As you can guess, I do pretty much hate my colleagues. And they know it, and they hate me too, and that's perfectly fine. I don't care. So I've stopped sharing. Can you guys see me?
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
And are you all right? So
We're
we're not
still
looking
seeing
at
your
the
screen.
screen anymore, right?
I still see your
Am I
screen.
not sharing? Oh,
I
okay,
still
let
see
me
your
I
stop
still see
sharing.
your screen.
Okay. So let's go back here. Let's just, oh, you know what? It says stop sharing. Hold on. One participant can share at a time. Advanced sharing. I'll just, you know what I'll do? I'll just share the screen that I'm on here. There we go. Now you guys can see me, right?
Yes.
And everybody who's there? Okay. So I know there are a lot of questions. The way we're going to do them is this. You'll unmute yourself for the question, and then you'll turn your mute back on. Otherwise, there'll be an echo. Miss Scott, yours has been on, but you've been quiet, so it's been okay. So if you have a question, get my attention somehow, and I'll click on you, or you can just okay. Murda, turn off your
You want
mute,
to
and
have
then
everyone, they can raise their hand and I can pay attention to whoever.
yes, please, yes, help me with that. Yeah. All right, perfect. Let's go with Murda first, and I'll be fast.
Yes, I've been doing the guardianship from Florida Rural Services in Fort Myers, but
Okay.
it's pretty much like the forms that you showed, but they don't they request medical record every year.
Because you're doing a guardianship and not a guardian advocacy, and Flora Rural, I can't even pronounce it, is helping you. So because you need to have an attorney for guardianship, so they're helping you every year. Are they charging you, or are they just helping you?
They never charged me, but they discharged the case last year, so I don't have anybody now.
Okay.
They
So you may have a problem, and you may need to file to
Mhm,
convert your guardianship to a guardian advocacy.
mhm.
If that comes up, give me a call.
Cool.
Okay, email me.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Next question, lady with the glasses. I can only see your forehead.
Okay.
That would be Kelly Scott.
Yes, I'm, my son Cody is 28. He's on the spectrum. We moved here from Rhode Island 10 years ago. I actually paid an attorney and had guardianship done prior to leaving the state and before Cody's 18th birthday, because I had heard after 18, it's much more expensive. And when I got to Florida, I've heard conflicting reports about whether or not that is observed here or if it's just
No.
discounted here.
Well, you can do one of two things. You can hire an attorney to have it domesticated here and then have a judge here approve it, or you can just file a guardian advocacy and attach all that documentation to it and have a judge do a new order. That's cheap, inexpensive. You don't need a lawyer, and you can do it. Use my forms, and that one page that said notice of filing documents, attach that
Yes.
old stuff from the other state to it, and you're good to go. Done.
Okay. One
All
other
right.
quick question. My second husband is not Cody's father. Cody has lived with Chris and myself since 2013.
You can do co-guardian advocacy.
So it doesn't matter that he's not the biological father.
No, not
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
for all your
So
help. We appreciate you.
yes, and you guys listen, if we run out of time, that's okay. You can email me, use my website, email me. I will email you back and we'll talk, okay?
Perfect.
Miss Courtney, you had a question?
Hello.
Or
Can you hear me?
yes,
Um,
I can hear you.
did you describe the difference between the guardianship versus the advocacy at the beginning?
Yes.
You did say that. Okay.
I did, but all you have to do is go to my website. Okay, it's rapkinlegal.com or rapkin.net, and there's a big red box You click on that, and then there's a place that that says click here to see the slides for my presentation. And then all you have to do is look through the slides and it'll explain why.
Okay.
Okay, I spell it out for you pretty well there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next question. Anybody? All right.
We have
So
a question in the chat. Hold on. Said Sue has a question, but she can't figure out how to unmute herself.
okay.
Since you're the host,
I'm on my iPhone and I can't figure it out. Can you hear
she
me?
got it. Yep.
I hear you.
Okay. Oh, good. So you brought up living will and the do not resuscitate, and you said not to check the box, right? But I have a question. It's slightly off topic, but but it's also relevant to everybody here.
Hold on. I didn't say not to check the box. I said that a child like mine with autism who's mentally about 7 years old, or a kid with Down syndrome, is not going to know enough to go hire an attorney to do a healthcare surrogate or a DNR. And so you put NA there. Okay. It's a ridiculous question that's on the form. All right. That's all I said. But go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what you said. And having said that, I pulled the form from my son's PCP to put in his file. And as I was filling it out, a lot of things we parents as guardian advocates, we do on behalf of our kids or our wards, right? But as I was filling it out, I stopped halfway through because I didn't know whether I was supposed to complete it, or I was like, but I'm the guardian. So if the time came, DNR, do not resuscitate, would I just say do not resuscitate? Or should I fill out the form as if I'm my son who's my ward and have it in his
what form are you talking about?
PCP's folder?
What's PCP? What is that?
Personal care physician, and he's a part of he's on Medicare and Medicaid, but his personal care physician, his primary care, his primary doctor, where he goes to get his physical and that sort of stuff, in his file, he should, there's a form, do not resuscitate.
Oh, okay. So the question then becomes, does your child have the ability, the capacity to make such a decision of whether or not to resuscitate or not?
And he doesn't. So I'm going to make it as his guardian advocate. But do I just fill out the form as if I'm him and put it in his file?
You leave it blank.
Yeah.
You leave it blank.
Okay.
They will ask you, but you leave it blank. Do not fill that in. Do not resuscitate. Don't fill that in, because when they come with the ambulance, and if somebody looks in a database and says, oh, it says do not resuscitate, they're not going to put the paddles on them or anything. Leave it blank. Okay. Here's a little note for everybody. If there's ever a form you're filling out and you don't know what to put, the safest thing to do is to leave it blank. Okay. That is always the safest thing to do. A judge or somebody will tell you. Okay.
Yes.
Leave it blank. Any
Great,
other questions? Yep. All right. So if anything pops up, you guys have my website, my telephone number, my email's on my website. All you have to do is email me. Okay. And put in the subject line, I have a question about guardian advocacy or guardianship or whatever. Okay. I will get back to you. It's better to text me or call me, because I'm very backed up on my emails. And so I'm about 2 or 3 days behind. So the very best thing to do is to text me. Okay. I'll get back to you faster. I text with 5, 10 people at once. Although I did tell a very large African-American gentleman today that I loved him and I was going to bring him a rotisserie chicken for dinner. That was meant for my wife. And he said he loved me too. And when's dinner? And I said, sorry, I meant that for my wife. And he was all upset, but that's okay. He's a good friend of mine. It's all good. So just text me.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Jeff. Really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for coming to this presentation. If anyone has any specific other topics they'd love to hear about in this monthly series, please feel free to email me directly. My email is the one that I send out the notices for these events from every month. And we will see everybody soon.
Good luck, everyone.